Okay. So, hi, Hoogerwerf. I am a global advisor and strategist at Broadcom. I have Nestor, Falcon architect at Broadcom Enterprise Division, specialized in infrastructure operations and AI ops. And today I would like to talk to you about self-driving IT and network monitoring as the foundation of every modern company. So let's have a look at the future ahead and actually the past, present. So everything started with Industry 1.0. We moved up to Industry 3.0 with automation, computers, and electronics. And now we're entering the space of Industry 4.0, where we have the cyber physical systems and the Internet of Things connecting basically every device and possibly every human on this planet. And although we're just entering this stage with 5G and edge computing and stuff like that, there are already plans and thoughts about Society 5.0. It started to go as a think tank, but it's gaining more and more ground, also thanks to the sustainability goals of the United Nations. And this is all about achieving a human-centered society where there's a balance between people, planet, and profit. And the foundation of the Industry 4.0 and Society 5.0 is connectivity. Everything is connected and everything is related to each other. Now, what you see in this evolution is that societies are going to create digital twins. This is already happening. So they create a digital twin of their own organization, of their own business, whether it's a profitable business or an NGO. And is that analytics, AI, and automation are driving this evolution also. So while we create digital twins, we need AI, analytics, and automation to make educated decisions, to automate tasks, and to actually perform everything that we want to achieve this sustainable balance in society. The backbone of it all, as said, is connectivity. So if everything is connected, and you need to think about devices, people, and I'm talking about millions and billions of personal services and devices. That whole landscape, that new digital complexity at scale cannot be managed manual and siloed anymore. So we need to move, if you look at the connectivity layer and the network layer and the IT layer and the service layer, actually, we need to move from a siloed element monitoring with non-filtered alarms and delayed data ingestion and single layers of visibility, sometimes ad hoc solutions, and a lot of times manual resolutions. We need to move that to intent and experience-based with intelligent noise reduction, app-aware monitoring and telemetry on the microsecond, with multi-layered correlation, so network, IT infrastructure, application, customer experience, all bounded together. And then in the end, have a rule-based decision-making that facilitates self-healing, self-provisioning, and self-configuration of the whole landscape. Some might wonder, what is intent and experience-based? So if you do the traditional monitoring, then, for instance, the IT or the network tells you what it's capable of doing and what it's not capable of doing. Now, with the intent and experience-based infrastructure, it's basically the business telling the network and the IT infrastructure what it wants to do. So it sets the parameters for the network, like, for instance, quality of service parameters. So when we have this new digital complexity at scale, as mentioned, it cannot be siloed anymore. It cannot be manually anymore. So you need a platform that facilitates all of this. It needs a self-driving IT and network monitoring solution. And that self-driving IT and network monitoring solution enables the strategic outcomes of any company. So So basically, any company has at least these 3 strategic outcomes. They might have more, but certainly not less. Every company wants to reduce cost, wants to improve customer experience, and wants to grow their strategic value. Now, for the self-driving IT and network monitoring, there are business outputs that work towards those strategic outcomes. So improved efficiency and productivity will reduce cost. Accelerated troubleshooting and improved service levels will improve customer experience. And increased agility and flexibility of the organization will end discovery of strategic value. And as said, the self-driving enables all of that. So how does that look like? Let's start with the bottom. We have apps, we have data, we have IoT, we have mobile, we have on-premise equipment like in the office or at home. We have network infrastructure, IT infrastructure, and we have multi-cloud, on-premise, at public cloud providers. So it's a hybrid situation. And the first layer of this platform collects data, and it discovers what devices are connected. And that it collects data from app, from telemetry, from packet, SNMP, logs, whatever you as an input could facilitate. So this layer gives you data, nothing more, nothing less. But you want to have information about FCAPs, fault configuration. So this second layer, and it says aspiration and security, you see that most of the times this is not integrated, and we're working towards that with the acquisition of Symantec actually in our platform. But this layer, fault configuration, accounting, performance, and security monitoring, gives you the information about what's going on with the data that you collected, what is going on with your infrastructure and your applications. Now, information by itself is not enough. So the next layer is inventory, location, topology, and flow. This will tell you where the data is coming from, how everything is connected, how traffic is flowing, where there are bursts or where there are problems, congestions and stuff like that. So data, information, knowledge. And last but not least, you need to be able to map your customer service model to that. You get really insight. So data, information, knowledge, and insight. Now, all of these 4 layers are ingested in the multi-layered operational intelligence. This is basically the machine learning and AI environment, the big data lake, where all this information comes together. And from that, you can drive decision-making, and you can have basically automation. And why is this split in 2? Automation, a lot of times when you're a large enterprise or maybe even a small enterprise, you already have platforms in-house, or you have automation engines in-house, like for instance Ansible, or network automation from your network equipment providers. So there's no point in replacing those automation engines if they're already in place and working fine. But if you want to have this, you do need something, an orchestrator of orchestrator, that manages the workflows across those different automation engines. And the benefit of that, by the way, is that you can switch automation engines underneath without replacing the top layer orchestrator. So this ties back into service management and DevSecOps. And basically the first 2 layers give you full stack observability. The next one gives you actionable insights, and the right ones give you intelligent automation. These slides, by the way, will be available afterwards, so you can read everything at your own pace. So self-driving IT and network is the foundation of the connectivity experience. So connectivity is the backbone of everything. It is what brings all the services together, which connects every customer. So it is the backbone and foundation of customer experience. So we have our network monitoring, performance management, we have our infrastructure monitoring, we have our mainframe operational intelligence. We monitor the set-top boxes. We can integrate the semantic data, so include security in the whole setup, and we automate with atomic automation. Now, can we do everything for every enterprise with every tools they have inside? No, actually nobody can. This is too much, this is too big. And that's why we have a flexibility with our open architecture and third-party integrations. So these are logos that we integrate out of the box, but rest assured we can integrate with any platform or any system that has an API, or even without an API, it's possible. So let me show you lastly a few dashboards, how this looks like in real life. So this is a dashboard that shows you the multi-layered overview. So you see the performance and utilization of the infrastructure, you see application response times, and you see the business overview of revenue and KPIs and how much errors there are in the application. So this is one of those dashboards that can be used. Another example here about the intelligent noise reduction is a dashboard about how events are shown. So you see here some events on a timeline, but you see that on the top that we have different entities. We have seen 55 anomalies in 5 clusters, but most importantly to the right, we have a 98.18% noise reduction. So we filter out a lot of the events that are all related to a few critical events, and we only show the most critical ones, so you can take action on that. Intelligent automation. So what you see on the right is a recommended automation action. A lot of companies don't want to automate directly. They're kind of afraid to automate tasks if they're not sure about it. So what we have a recommendation engine, and in this case, it recommends a service rollback with a 90% confidence. So the system is pretty sure that this is the action that should be taken, and you can click on the policy to see why it came to that result. But it's up to you to decide if you want to do that or investigate further. Another dashboard is business service availability versus the revenue map. This could, by the way, could be any KPI. So we can map the business service availability to, for instance, the number of orders that came in, or the number of customers that visit your shop, or the number of customers that actually put something in a shopping cart but disregarded it, or anything that you want as a metric against the service availability. And lastly but not least, cloud performance and spend. There are gray boxes because I filtered out the IP numbers of our customer, but this is an overview. These are dashboards that one of our customer uses to see the capacity they use in the different clouds and the spend against it, so they can make informed decisions on where to move workloads most efficiently. So hopefully I showed you that the future is complicated. You need a platform approach to actually engage that future from a connectivity and IT perspective. That you need artificial intelligence, automation, and analytics to help you out with the millions and millions of services that will come your way, and that Broadcom is to help you in that. So thank you for listening. I will put, we'll be around on the conference, but if you cannot find us, I will put our LinkedIn profiles in the chat, and so you can connect afterwards with any questions or remarks or discussion to follow up on that. Are there any questions? Let me check. I don't think so. Nestor, can you see any questions? Did you receive any questions?
No, I haven't received any question.
All right. Arnold and Nestor, thank you very much for your presentation. Was really interesting to see how Broadcom is driving BizOps and how more and more business metrics in your thinking, architecture, concepts. By the way, I would like to share an interesting figure with you. We lately did an research in the German-speaking world, mainly in Germany and Austria, and we asked 100 companies about their opinion and challenges at the moment. And you mentioned that complexity is rising, and we are all aware of that problem and try to build solutions around that, right? Right. And that's what you presented as well. So 63 people from companies representing our economy here are expecting and growth in complexity over the next 18 months. I think that's also an interesting actual number, that complexity is an issue and is a challenge for all of us. And so thanks again for your contribution to BizOps Forum here. And thank you, Nestor. Thank you, Arnold. And yeah, great having you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And also, if you would like to log into the DAS platform, do it, and then maybe you can also reach out to the participants and answer questions.
We'll be around. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.